Welcome to now our fourth segment of hashtag Ask Paul. I am featuring a celebratory 125 years of Hopkins lacrosse, drawing by dear friend and Hopkins alumni, Neil Grauer. So enjoy throughout. But we are going to discuss rule changes as it was kicked off so suddenly 2 weeks ago by the stick stringing changes at the high school level. No U's or V's, up to 4 inches below the top of the stick, which I think is criminal. And then the NCAA Rules Committee met in Indianapolis last week and unveiled their new strategy, which will go over some good, some not so good. But actually, you know what? My position isn't to go over that. My position is to answer your questions. And we got a lot of them from our friends at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Everyone contributed using hashtag AskPaul. So let's go through them. Cooper Kostikyan, what is the shot clock time? Also, if you could pick a time, what would it be? Cooper, 60 seconds, no doubt. Start to finish, change of possession, plenty of time. But more importantly, you know, people get caught up in a lack of time. I think that's okay. In football, offenses will run out of time in their play clock. Just like in basketball, multiple possessions throughout the game, teams are forced to throw a wild shot up because the shot clock's out. That happens. That's fun. That's what fans like to see. So I think in lacrosse, people are panicking because they think a lot of possessions will run out of time in a 60-second clock. That's great. That means there's good defense, and that means we're going to see some type of dramatic play at the net or a long-distance shot, and that's awesome. So let's encourage that. Let's see, this one comes from Fearless JW. Can you do a weapon of choice video? Hashtag Ask Paul. Again, unfortunately, not a question that's going to afford you a win in this specific opportunity, but when I do a weapon of choice video, I'll be sure to tag you in it. All right, here we go. Hashtag Ask Paul. What do you think about cutting palms out of gloves, good or bad? I think that's awesome. The less material you have between the skin of your hand and the stick, the better handling you get. That's why in the pro game, we cut out our palms, generally most of the offensive guys, because you get the best handle. That's why you see it in hockey too all the time. I think, and would encourage that change to be made. I don't think that gets done by the rules committee though. I think it's a safety precaution from an equipment standpoint, just like you have to wear shoulders and elbows and stuff like that. _OCH. What is in the hat? Hashtag Ask Paul. Not gonna win the contest for you, unfortunately, Luke, but what was in the hat was a signed old GoPro cam. So, Rory Caffrey says, hashtag Ask Paul, do you do any of the rules for the head change? You know, when it comes to sticks, the stringers that are playing for these college programs, these guys at all these companies that are stringing your heads, if you send them in, they are quality. All right, and it's become less, in my opinion, about the dimension of the head, the width or the narrowness of the speck of the head, and less about the U or the V, and more about the channel in the mesh that a lot of these stringers are doing. So in other words, you know, you can have a wide a head as possible, but if someone strings a narrow channel using your mesh, and it now causes the mesh to turn in tight, and then drop the pocket from here to here, it doesn't matter the width of your head. That ball is staying where the mesh dictates it. So these specs and all this nonsense about the U's and V's has nothing to do with a player being able to withhold the ball in his pocket from the defender. It has to do with the way the stringer is stringing his stick, and that'll never change. Let's see, this one comes from Joe Myers at Joey Da Kid 19. Joey Da Kid 19. Paul, how would you have reacted or felt if you were playing under the current NCAA rules? Okay, last one here. If you could remove one of the rules in lacrosse, any level, both old and new, what one rule would you get rid of? Hashtag Ask Paul. I would prefer lacrosse to have no shot clock than some random timer on that a ref, you know, calls randomly during a game if he feels like a guy is stalling or not going to the net. And then all of a sudden 30 seconds pops up in the net. I would prefer that if you're gonna stall and the ref calls it, go back to the old days where we have to keep it in the box. At least, you know, defenders got to press out and stuff like that. And, you know, I just think have a clock or don't have a clock, but all this other stuff is nonsense. I forgot to make mention, the winner of the contest is going to get what was in my hat that I actually don't have with me. What can I give away? I'm going to give away one of my old GoPro cameras, and I'm going to sign it and then send it to the winner, which I'm going to unveil now. Congratulations to Zeke Kemp for your awesome question. I really liked your question about how unique lacrosse is, and how I've said in the past, it's, you know, our sticks are an extension of our arm, and how important it is that we customize it and tailor it to our personality so we can show our best attributes on the field. You've been to one of my clinics or camps before, obviously, because I don't share that knowledge publicly. It's a very emotional statement, and you were able to tailor that to the rules, and you got my vote, and I will send you one of my old GoPros. Sign it. Enjoy, bud. Wow, a lot of stick stringing rules. It must be a lot of high school kids sending in these questions. That makes sense. Yeah. Nothing on shot clock right now, nothing on over and back, and nothing on calling timeouts in your own end without the ball if you're the team on defense. All that's changed. No questions on it. Colin and Samir, back to the drawing board.